Good morning. Hope everyone is having a good morning this morning. This morning we're going to be talking about, do we really know Jesus? Do we really know Jesus? And this is a topic most people don't want to tackle or talk about. But it's one of those topics that's very, very serious. It's serious because we are talking about life and death when we're talking about knowing Jesus. We're talking about eternity, being separated from God forever and ever and ever. What we would call infinity, meaning on and on and on, everlasting. So when it's that serious, it's very, very important that we give attention to what I'm talking about right now. It's that the idea of when a team is playing in the playoff, one and done. The difference is eternity is on and on. It's no coming back from it. And I think we need to give attention to it. And I said we because no one is exempted, even me. So I would start off by saying in the Bible, in John 3, it was a religious leader named Nicodemus who came to Jesus by night. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Nicodemus, and I'm going to bring it home about us as we think we know Christ. This man, Nicodemus, was a religious man. He was very, very schooled in the knowledge of Christ. As for the Old Testament, because the New Testament had not been written yet. It was being written as Jesus was meeting with Nick by night. It was being the New Testament. But this guy, Nicodemus, was a Pharisee, and the Pharisees were religious people, religious leaders who knew the Torah, they knew the Bible, they knew the law of God in and out. They could quote it. They could quote it word by word. They were that. They knew, they had that much knowledge about God's laws, which was a lot of laws. And so he was schooled. He knew a lot about God, but he did not know Jesus. With all the knowledge that he had, he did not know Jesus personally. He did not know Jesus. He knew a lot about Jesus. So he came to Jesus by night. And when he came to Jesus by night, he recognized that Jesus, he said to Jesus that the things that Jesus do, he knew that Jesus was definitely called by God. He didn't come to Jesus as if when he first came to Jesus, he didn't come to Jesus as he knew Jesus. He came to Jesus in a way like looking at the things that Jesus did for him to. So the things Jesus did is the reason that he said that Jesus was definitely a prophet who were called by God based on what Jesus did. So Jesus do not tell them to go somewhere or anything like that. Jesus actually sits down with them, and Jesus has a conversation with them. And in this conversation, Jesus explained to him that you must be born again. And Jesus said you have to be born of the water and of the Spirit. Now, the water is the natural birth of a mother bringing forth a child through the natural birth. And the Spirit is something totally different. But Nicodemus did not understand what Jesus was saying, because the Bible said he asked him, can he go back into his mother's womb and be reborn again? So he did not understand what Jesus was explaining to him. And so I say that to say this, that we must be born again of the Spirit of God. Everyone has, if you are born of a woman, you have a spirit in you. And that spirit, back when Adam and Eve sinned, the sin caused mankind to be separated from God. And so when man was separated from God, man needed a way back to God to be right with God. And so in the Old Testament, they sacrificed animals, but that was a symbol of Jesus, the Lamb of God, who would come later and die for the sins of the world. And so, so man must be born again of the Spirit. Now when we die, if you die with Christ, then your spirit has been born again if you die with Christ. But if you don't die with Christ, your spirit is not born again, and your destination is hell. And that's as simple as I can put it. So this man Nicodemus, he thought he knew Jesus. He thought he knew God, but he had a lot of knowledge about God, and he didn't know God in a personal way. And I would say that's a lot of people today. They know a lot about Christ. They know he died